Third grade, again, this is assignment. I think it's going to be 20, and we started it yesterday, 21. It might even be 23. Can somebody tell me? So we did all of these here. Okay, open it up to the next page. Did we do any of them inside the first page? No? Okay, so this might take us a little bit longer. Alrighty, so here we go. This is where some of you on the last test that I need to give you back soon had some problems. So look at your number 9 problem. Make sure it says 133 plus 288. We are going to be rounding this to the nearest 10. And again, the number 10 has 1 0. So we're going to have at least a 0 in the end. And listen carefully. If I'm marking something up here, I want you to mark it up. Because I've got a couple people in the 4th grade that are getting a lot of trouble because I showed them all the work, how to round, how to carry, how to borrow. They showed nothing except the answer. And they're not going to be happy when they see their grade. Because if you just take my answer, you're not doing your own work. So we're rounding to the tens place. Here is the ones. Here is the tens. Here is the hundreds. So we're going to round it to right here. So if you could put a little line there. Here is the tens here. We're going to round it here. Here is the tens place right here. And here is the tens place here. And then I know that 10 has 1 0. That means this is going to change to a 0. This is going to change to a 0. I'm going to write it out the whole number the first time, maybe the second time, but then the third time and the fourth time we're going to take a shortcut. So we're rounding to here. Is this going to be 13 or 14? 13. That my neighbor is not macho enough, not big enough to round it up 1. So it's going to be 1, 3, and that last digit changes to a 0. So I want you to write that also. I'm even going to make it bigger so you can really see it. Okay. Then, look at this one here. Is this going to be closer to 28 or 29? 29, because that big macho neighbor is so big, I can add 1. So it's going to be 2, 9, and then we're rounding to the 10, so that changes to a 0. And now we're going to add, yes, sir. Did you have a question, Joseph? Okay. Now we're going to add it up. So 0 and 0 is 0. 9, 10, 11, 12. That is going to be 12. Carry. And you should show your carry mark so I know you're doing the work. And who knows what this last digit is going to be? So it's going to be 4. So 133 people voted in one city, 288, about 420 altogether. So then we're going to go to this one here, the number 10. And who think, oh, no, we're not actually adding, we're rounding. So is this going to be 35 or 36? Look at your neighbor. 36, it's big enough to round it up. And because we're rounding to the tens, that last digit becomes a 0. And then, is this going to be 22? Yes, ma'am. Okay, I have got to get a bag of candy tomorrow because she's absolutely right. That should be, I said 35 or 36 and I put 30. Okay, I'll just change that into a 6. Okay, 360. And then this one, is it going to be 22 or 23? It is going to be 23 because that's big enough. So 2, 3, and we're going to put that 0, and then let's add it up. So 0, 6 and 3 is what? 9, and then 3 and 2 is 5. And then we'll go to this one. I don't think we'll take shortcuts on the tens, but we will when we get to the hundreds. So now, is this going to be 58 or 59? 59. So 5, 9, and that 8 changes to a 0. And then is this going to be 31 or 32? 31, because that's not big enough. 3, 1, and change that to a 0. And then, so let's go ahead and add this up. 9 and 1 is what? 10. Carry 1. So this last column is, who knows what? 9. So it's about 900. And the last one, I don't have room here, so we're going to do a little bit of a shortcut on this one. So is this one closer to 42 or 43?
42.
42. Well, maybe I can't put the 0. Then is this one closer to 38 or 39? 39 with a 0. And then we're going to go ahead and add it. So this is 0, 9 and 2. Who thinks they know?
11.
It's 11. Good job. And I actually saw a 10. I saw 9 and 1, which is 10, and 1 extra 1. Yes, Tenny, what? Okay, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but we need to go on. All right, so this last column, who knows what the last column is?
8.
This is going to be 8. Okay, so 810. So the 10s are kind of hard. The 10s are kind of hard to do. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so, but now we're going to do the easy one. The nearest hundreds. Where's the nearest hundred? Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, it does cut part of it off. Alrighty, so is the hundreds where this 8 is, where the 6 is, or where the 4 is?
4.
Where the 4 is. So we're going to draw a line here, here. I want you to draw it too. And 100 has 2 zeros. We're going to round it so everything has 2 zeros at the end. So is this one going to be closer to 4 or 5?
5.
5. So this one's closer to 500. Is this one closer to 4 or 5?
4.
4. Oh, so this is easy to add. So 500 and 400 is about how much? 900. Sorry about that. So that's easy. That's about 900. Okay. Then, yeah, the hundreds are easy. Then is this closer to 200 or 300? Very good. This one right below, is it closer to 100 or 200? 200. Good job. And the hundreds are even easier to add. What is 300 plus 200? 500. And here's the little shortcut that I was saying. So is this closer to a 6 or a 7?
6.
So I'm just going to put a 6. Is this closer to a 3 or a 4?
4.
4. Well, tell me, what is 6 plus 4?
10.
So I'm going to put it over here. Again, it has to be on this side. And then I'm going to tack on my 2 zeros. So what does that number end up being? 10,000 or 1,000? 1,000. Alrighty. Then, yeah, that's right. Alright, so let's go to this one. So, is this closer to 600 or 700? Say it again. Because that big macho neighbor It's closer to 700. Is this closer to 200 or 300? 200. There's no power there. So what's 7 plus 2? So we're going to put it right under here, 9. And what happens to these numbers? They change to zeros. And let me watch our time. We get out of here at 40. Make sure okay. Okay, so here we go. So now it says we're going to estimate using front end estimation, which is just like it says. It's at the front. It's at the front. So that's, in these cases, it's actually the hundreds place. So is this closer to 300 or 400? 400 plus, okay, sorry about that. Is this one closer to 200 or 300? 300. In fact, I am going to use a shortcut on this in a second because I don't have enough room. Maybe I could have put it up here. I don't know. Well, I'll put my answer up here. So what's 400 and 300? 700. So I think I have room. No, I don't know. I'll just box it off. So it's 700. All right. So you got that one? All right. So let's go ahead and look at this one. And it's the front end, the front end. Is this first one closer to 100 or 200?
100.
Look at that big macho neighbor. 200. So by the way, I'm going to do a shortcut on this one. Put a 2 here. And then is this closer to 400 or 500? 400. Put a little 4. What's 2 plus 4?
6.
So my final answer, who thinks they know?
600.
Very good. It is 6 with 2 zeros, 600. So I think we'll do the same thing on this one. So, on this one. On this one, is this closer to 400 or 500? 400. Is this closer to 200 or 300?
200.
Okay. What's 4 plus 2? 600. Awesome. And then 600 again. And then this one here. Is this closer to 600 or 700?
600.
Good job, third graders. And then this one, is it closer to 100 or 200?
100.
What's 600 and 100? 700. Okay, good. Now, here it's saying take each of these and round it to the tens and then do it again to the hundreds. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to do these first 2 to the tens, and we're going to do these last 2 to the hundreds. Okay. So, which digit is the tens? Is it the 5 and 6? Is it the 7 and 3? Or is it the 2 and 4? Shout it out.
7.
The 7 and the 3. The 2 and the 4 people we just got doing, that's hundreds. So it's ones, tens, hundreds. So we're going to round right here. And we're also going to round to the tens here. So, is this closer to 27 or 28?
28.
28. And then I'm going to put a 0 at the end in just a moment. Is this closer to 43 or 44? 44. So I know that these are going to change to 0. So I can actually put that there now. So I'm going to have 1 0 in my answer. But then let's go ahead and add this up. I don't have a lot of room there, so I'm going to add it over here. 28 plus 40. Does anybody see a 10? What's the final answer?
12.
12. 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 2 more. So that's going to be 12. And that's going to be, what, 4, 5, 6, 7? So it's 720. Because I just didn't, as we did this, I didn't put the zeros there. All right, so let's do the same thing on this one. All right, so is this going to be closer to 58 or 59? 58. Oh, people, leave me alone. Okay, it's 58. So this is going to be closer to, what is it, 58 and 34 or 35? 34. And let's go ahead and add this up. Oh, 8 and 4 again? 12. Good job. Carry 1. So that's going to be 5 and 3 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So it's 9, 2, and what do we put at the end?
0.
A 0. So 920. And we're going to, let's see, we're going to go over here. So now we're going to do these two to the hundreds. Which ones are in the hundreds? The 8 and the 9, the 2 and the 7, or the 4, 4? The 4, 4. These are in the hundreds. These are in the hundreds. So let's look at this one. Is this going to round to 4 or 5? 400. So I'm just going to put a 4. Is this going to round to 400 or 500? 5. Good job. So 400 and 500 is how many hundred?
900.
So let's just put our 900 right here. So that's our little shortcut of just putting the front number. Then I want to see how much more we're going to do. All right. Then is this one going to be 400 or 500?
500.
So put a 5. Is this one going to be 100 or 200?
200.
You're getting so good at rounding. That's going to be a 200. So how many hundreds do we have altogether? Good job. And let's put it right here. Okay. Now, okay, listen carefully. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish these word problems tomorrow and the rest of these. Don't touch any of these. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. I'm going to tell you. Okay. Then what you're going to do, this is classwork. If you don't finish it, it changes to what? Homework. So the first one is estimate by rounding to the tens. Then you're going to round these to the hundreds. And then I'm going to tell you that you can use a shortcut on the 5 through 8 and the 9 through 12, but not on this one. So let me give you an example how you need to show the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this one is to the nearest 10. Girls, I shouldn't hear anybody talking. You should be faced this way. Sir, have a seat. So let me show you an example of how I want you to do the tens. The others, you may do like we did here. You can round it like this and then put your full answer. But the tens are more difficult, so we're not going to do that. So watch carefully. Where is the tens place? Where the 8 is, where the 2 is, or where the 4 is? Very good. So please mark it. Is this closer to 42 or 43? What is it going to be?
42.
Isn't that my neighbor, a great big macho number? 43. 4, 3, 0. Then this one, is it going to be 26 or 27? 27. And we can add it right there, but then we have to put our answer somewhere else. 0, 0 is 0. What is 7 and 3?
10.
10. Carry 1. What's that last number going to be? 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 700. In fact, I want you to put it right here. Nice and big and fill it up. So the tens, you show your work. On the tens, you show your work. On the tens, you show your work. But on the hundreds, you can just use the front number. Now, if you look up here, do you see a 700? You cross off one of them because there's going to be 2 other problems that you're going to get a 700. And you're going to draw one line through it. You must check your answers. Because if you don't find the answer, what you need to do is raise your hand and I'll come over and help you. Does that make sense? Yes, ma'am. What's your question? You may in just a moment. Does everybody understand what you need to do? Okay. Oh, one last thing. Do not touch this back page. Do not touch it. So the only page that you're doing right now is this. Does that make sense? 1 through 12. Okay, people at home? Hope you understand that. Have a good day. You guys can begin.